about schools being the focus for community cohesion is because the school is the focus for the community.
In 2007, schools were given the duty to promote community cohesion, and the following year, Ofsted began assessing how well schools were fulfilling this brief. Many schools are uncertain about how to interpret Ofsted's criteria, so Professor Catherine Riley from the Institute of Education is visiting ethnically diverse Newham to see what actions 4 schools are taking to meet this objective.
Schools have now been asked to promote community cohesion. I want to know what they actually are going to do and how they're going to do it.
At Lister Community College, Catherine is finding out more from head teacher Martin Buck, who took the word community in his school title seriously even before Ofsted laid on him the duty to do so.
There is a temptation, shall I say, to want to see community cohesion as a quick fix. And we believe fundamentally if you do that, you will not properly engage.
When we talk about community cohesion, when we think about what schools are doing and what they should be doing, there's one important issue, and that's trust. Trust is the superglue that holds communities together. And that trust has 2 parts. It's about the schools trusting the community, and it's also about the community trusting the schools.
At Plastow Primary, that trust has been fostered over time, and the deputy head teacher thinks this approach is paying dividends.
We've got a very responsive community of parents, and I feel part of that is because they feel very welcome. And as part of our mission statement, welcome is the key word to success really with relationships.
For years the head teacher at Southern Road Primary has promoted cohesion, but now she's suddenly worried whether she's been getting it right.
Well, I think there was a big panic initially, oh, we don't do it enough, etc. And then we started to identify how do we involve our community, how do we involve our parents.
Involving parents is part of the job of Specialist Community Cohesion Officer Sarah Henderson at Rokeby School, also in Newham.
My role as Community Cohesion Officer is to work with parents, to increase parental engagement in school life, to improve links with local organisations and local service providers that can support the school in supporting our community.
8 other Newham schools have banded together in a soft federation, providing some of the funds to employ Simon Vincent, their designated community and learning manager.
I think schools need to invest time in getting to know their communities. One of the first things I did in post was to walk the patch, literally walk the streets where the 8 schools are based, and gather together the information about the agencies that are working on this patch. So we came up with a directory of 190 plus organisations, ranging from your small local faith organisation through to the local education centre.
Success in promoting community cohesion is assessed by Ofsted under 3 categories as laid down by the DCSF. The first of these focuses on teaching, learning and the curriculum.
It's about providing opportunities for valuing diversity, understanding our differences, but understanding the community in which we live and the part that we play.
We make sure that all our community is represented through our curriculum, and we tend to choose topics that can be broadened out. When we did Black History Month, we called it culturally inclusive curriculum, and we did journeys.
At Plastow Primary, Catherine explores how they're engaging their parents and getting them involved in the curriculum.
Bringing in the parents was very carefully thought through in the sense we didn't feel that it was appropriate to say, what would you like to see your child taught? We took it from another angle, and that angle was, what values would you like to see your child leave at the end of their schooling with?
As part of their new curriculum, pupils from a young age learn that people are entitled to have opposing views and opinions, and that these differences should be respected.
Who likes chocolate? But some people don't like chocolate, do they?
It's not healthy.
No.
What do you think about cats, Samaya?
I like them. I don't like cats.
You don't like cats. I love cats. I have to.
I hate cats. I don't like cats.
And it doesn't matter if you agree or you disagree, does it? It doesn't matter at all because you've made up your own mind. We don't mind if we think differently, do we?
We have teachers welcoming parents into classrooms at the beginning of every term. It happens at the end of the day. The purpose is to come in, have a look around the classroom, speak to the teacher. It's not a one-to-one, it's very general. They do a little sort of a speech and a little bit of a chat, saying to parents what they can actually do to help their children.
Ofsted also looks at the category of equity and excellence. Essentially, schools need to ensure that all their pupils, irrespective of ethnicity or background, reach their optimum potential.
What it does require you to do, both inside and outside the duty, is to ensure that certain social groups that have perhaps not been as successful as they have previously been, it requires you to analyse and scrutinise each of those students' performance.
So that really means looking at data, ethnic analysis of data, look at where there's underachievement and why there's underachievement and what the school's doing about it.
Rugby School found that some of their Somali students were underperforming, so they set up a series of parent meetings to tackle the problem.
This was an opportunity for parents to come into school, to meet with other parents, to find out how the school worked, to find out who different members of staff were, to find out what issues were going on in school.
The meetings were such a success that these parents and their offspring have now been integrated into the school hierarchy.
One of our Somali students is a student leader. One of our Somali parents is now a governor. So it really has had a fantastic impact.
This is my opportunity to show that Somali students that we ain't part of the stereotype, because there's many stereotypes for every community, and like many other communities, Somali students have a stereotype, basically self-fulfilled prophecies and all sorts of stuff. So basically, I see this as being an opportunity to break the barriers, basically.
We have a meeting once a month with the parents, Somali and teachers. And now the children, they know we are coming every month.
The meetings help the teachers talk to our parents about what we need to do and our targets and our achievements and our aims.
The third Ofsted category to assess how well a school is doing in its duty to promote community cohesion is engagement and extended services.
Extended schools and extended services really are an opportunity for students and parents from different backgrounds to come together and to have the opportunity to take part in wider family learning.
At Plastow Children's Centre, these Somali mums meet weekly. Their discussions have increased their confidence and led them to engage more actively with their children's education.
Somali women, most of them, they're isolated inside their houses, just go to the shop and do their own business, but they don't meet other Somalis, and at the same time, many of them, they don't speak English.
They're so afraid to come out, you know, and I think this group, it helped us a lot.
The group can provide support to members whose children attend secondary schools where health and safety issues may trump cultural sensitivities surrounding the wearing of the hijab.
Not long ago, I have a problem with the school my daughter goes because they tell me she can't wear a hijab when she's doing the BE. And that was really hard for me because never before they assist that, but just all of a sudden the teacher, she moved to that year, she goes, no, she can't wear it for health and safety reasons.
I think she should speak to the head teacher because then that's the only person who can sort the problems out.
It's between parents and school, and never this should be politicized in the local politics or national politics. This has to be sorted out between schools and parents.
So the head teacher, the next time he called me, he goes, okay, your daughter, long as she tuck her hijab inside her t-shirt, she can have it.
Plastow Children's Centre also hosts a parents' learning group, which gives mums the skills to support their children's learning and mix with the other parents whose cultures may be different from their own.
What animal is this? Move forward one space.
It gives you more confidence to talk to other people, because before, just go in the playground, pick your children up and then go. But now, because we all know each other, we stop in the playground and talk, we speak outside. Now we all get on and we all understand.
The Community Cohesion Manager of the Newham Schools Federation is given the task of publicising the facilities which support engagement and the extended school.
You communicate with your communities and involve your communities in that communication. So we produce a newsletter which goes out to over 5,000 families of the children who attend our schools, also goes to those 190 plus community groups.
It's extremely important for schools to have good links with local service providers and to know the needs of their school community and students.
Schools may consider drawing on the specialist skills of local agencies such as the police if they suspect that conflicts within or outside the school gates are brewing.
One of the main issues that we've been looking to work with our local schools around is conflict resolution, dealing with violence in a non-violent way, engaging with parents so that there's a common standard and accepted behaviour between school and home, looking really deeply at how we can affect issues beyond the school boundary, using the school as the focus for that.
Yes, we have social divisions, but now we've come to the stage where we could break up them divisions and basically see people for who they are and not for what country they come from.
Much of the negative interaction around about group activity is not necessarily based around any identified ethnic group or religious group.
Students now, they don't see it as, oh, he's Somali, so I should go fight him. They see it as, so-and-so did this to me. So basically, in a way, yeah, we broke social barriers as well.
Key to persuading Ofsted that the school is promoting community cohesion is having evidence that parents' views have been consulted.
It sounds to me that you're doing some wonderful things, but my question is, how do you know that what you're doing is making a difference?
Well, we run annual parent questionnaires, we run children questionnaires to get a flavour of what the families feel about what we're doing in school, and also what the children feel what we're doing in school.
Questionnaires showing that pupils and parents have been consulted and the resulting data are two of the markers that Ofsted considers when assessing a school's performance in promoting community cohesion. So, what is the final advice on cohesion from those working in schools?
I think the key thing for schools in relation to community cohesion is identifying that whilst they are the focus for the activity, they're not necessarily responsible for making it all happen.
Schools need to invest time in getting to know their communities, and I think fundamentally that means getting out there onto the streets and identifying what's going on, which are the other local agencies that are working, and starting to build relationships with them.
One of the best things is having staff in the premises that come from the local community.
It would be, I think, to take the long view. Don't, lots of school life, of course, that happens in terms and years, but actually relationships with your community will be ongoing, and therefore perhaps schools need to own it and not just the head teacher own it.
And it's schools at the heart of this that can help those communities better embed, better empower, better engage in a really exciting agenda, but that does take energy, that does take time and does take commitment. And I say that, and it's not about being precious, it's just about doing the job.